How should Dak's wide receivers feel about the latest comments about OBJ?
I'm just wondering who's doing Dallas's PR.
Totally
no
agree.
one's grabbed Jerry, or maybe you can't
grab Jerry.
But
the PR guy. Let me tell you, Jerry.
How about grabbing Zeke? How about grabbing Dak and saying, look, let's just tone it down about OBJ. If you want to text him that we want him,
Sure.
fine. But publicly,
By the way, that's what Saquon said, was asked about this stuff, and he was like, yeah, I don't have to talk about him publicly.
See, that's good.
He's right. No.
Because Saquon saying that he and I have a relationship. But go ahead.
Zeke said they're tight, but yet he's going all on national TV talking about how much they want him. Look, here's the deal. Publicly, the receivers have to say the right thing, and they have and they will. We want OBJ too. But they're human. So privately, they got to be thinking, what are we, chopped liver? If you said it yesterday. How would Ezekiel Elliott feel if Dak and Jerry and Mike McCarthy were all like, man, we really need Christian McCaffrey. We'd love to have him 3 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And here's the other thing. It's not like if it was Tyreek Hill, you could understand it because he's been tearing up the league for the last several years.
It's not like it's a dominant, immediate, definite difference maker.
He's coming off his second ACL surgery. The last few years, obviously Michael Gallup's not as good, but he's thinking, hey, I've been as productive as he has the last few years.
Here's the thing. Gallup got paid, so I think this would be a bigger problem for him if he hadn't gotten paid. He got his contract this offseason. CeeDee Lamb is yet to get paid, but everyone knows he will. His first-round pick.
He's probably fine because he's the definitive number one.
Right. So there's really only one guy that's probably upset by this, Noah Brown. He's probably the one guy who's like, man, I'm playing well, coming off an injury when he comes back. This is maybe going to take some of my yards. He's a pending free agent, my ability to get paid. But I think you can deal with that. I have two major takeaways here. First one is this. They must get him now. It cannot be the owner, the coach, the other wide receivers, the running back, Micah Parsons, everyone talking about him. And then he's like, I'm signing with the Giants. They have to get him now. But the people or person who actually should feel some type of way about this is one of the guys who's been talking about this, and that's Jerry Jones. You know why? Because this is further confirmation. It hasn't really been talked about much because the Cowboys are winning. But the Amari Cooper trade was a mistake.
No doubt.
Was a mistake.
No
they did it to say they have $6 million of dead cap money for Amari Cooper this year, by trading him. They got a late round pick for him. It was purely to save $10 million of cap space. Yep. Well, if you end up signing Odell for $4 million or whatever it is, now all of a sudden it's like $6 million cap space, $4 million with Odell. You're not even saving all that much money, and clearly the team feels that they need more juice at the wide receiver position. They got rid of Amari Cooper prematurely to save money. So that part of it's a little odd to me. They had another wide receiver. They moved on from him, and now they're 6-2. Like, you know what we need? It's another wide receiver, another person to catch passes right now.
So you stumbled onto a good thing. Not stumbled, I shouldn't say that.
What are you talking about?
I should say you had
a lot of the good things he says, he stumbles upon.
Okay. You had some you had some very cogent analysis yesterday that I decided to build on. Because you said this raises the stakes for OBJ if he does end up on the Cowboys. And it reminded me of this thing.
Raises the expectations,
yes,
for sure.
Yeah. Right. So Jerry Seinfeld did this documentary on he was going back on tour. And the intro guy says, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, the funniest man on planet Earth, Jerry Seinfeld. And Seinfeld went up there and bombed because the audience was like, let me see this. And it's an interesting part of the documentary. So when Odell, if he ends up on the Cowboys and he starts off slower than he started off with the Rams. So his first game, he had 2 catches for 18 yards and a loss to the 49ers. Yep. Then he started catching touchdowns.
But he still didn't have big yardage games until the playoffs. He was catching touchdowns. He was 3 for 37 and a touchdown.
Exactly. So it would be weird if he gets on the Cowboys and there's this fervor for him. I think that would actually, I don't know, could it affect his production when there's such a clamoring to get him in the building?
It definitely could with any team. If they had done all this to get him and he goes there and expectations are sky high. But even more so with the Cowboys.
Yes.
Because the hype with the Cowboys is already sky high, and now you bring in all this. So, yeah, it definitely could be a downer if he gets it.
It was cogent analysis that I took you had to take, and I just kind of made it better.
So
I mean,
America,
he might be good.
I mean, it's a very
He
odd
might be
take.
good.
Hey,
What happened?
Wild's big Odell take today, it seems like, was for the audience that missed my take yesterday. Wild's got it back in reruns today.
You had a hot verse, I made a hot song.
Oh, I like that.
We've done that a few
I
times.
like that.
On the other side, Packers exuding confidence. Again, just kidding. Going through it. Here's Rasul Douglas.
We've been losing because we've been losing, if that's what you're asking. We suck because we suck. It ain't got nothing to do with London, nah. It's just we not executing. We keep doing the same thing every week. Play 2 halves of football, never 4, and that's just how it's been.
I think he meant quarters, by the way. 2 halves
He
of
did.
football.
Later on, he said
4
yeah.
would be too much.
He said quarters later on.
Okay, Brew, what was your take on that?
Well, I mean, obviously, look, he isn't exuding confidence, but he's being honest. He's telling it like it is, all right? He didn't say we're giving up. He's just showing how disappointed he is in the way they played.
If
now,
they win this weekend, Brew, you listen, this is your team. This is one of your many teams.
Can I play you something, in fact?
Oh, yeah.
No, are you serious?
What?
Hey, go ahead. If you play this, I got something for you. Okay, go ahead.
Can we play the tape, please?
I haven't seen
If Aaron Rodgers is going to better and be the man this year, trust.
You're knocking yourself. What you got Wild so far?
He's better without Devontae. Well, no, I'm just. He's going to be Aaron Rodgers.
Of course, he's going to be fine without
Facts
Devontae.
over feelings.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's everywhere. Exactly right.
Okay. We know you're the facts over feelings guy, but you were in your feelings big time, and I feel, honestly, you're in your feelings now. You're in a tough spot.
Wow.
You're like, I have to defend my own ego. You know, my reputation's on the line. Would a victory over Dallas make you believe again in the Packers like you did in that clip?
Well, let me hit you with a couple more facts. Because you're mocking my pick of the Green Bay Packers to get to the Super Bowl.
Bring up pick
you
stuff
picked
with,
the Arizona Cardinals to meet the Las Vegas Raiders in the Super Bowl. All right, so you cannot mock me. All right, let's just get that straight. All right.
It's not like making fun of a Roman.
I'm not making fun of it.
I'm talking
talking
right now, but go ahead, Brew.
Get back to being that guy. You believed in Aaron Rodgers, the whole Bud list. I believe in you.
You're trying to get my dander up, so I'm going, yes, I'll believe. It's complicated, though. It's complicated.
All right.
Nick wasn't born when some of my sayings were really popular.
I know. No.
Dander up and under my craw. I mean, everybody says that.
I know. You're in the catbird seat right now.
The catbird seat. All that stuff. Look it up. Google it. All right?
It's not on Google.
Google
You
it.
have to take a real book.
All right, here's the deal. It's complicated. Because if they just get a win, which obviously they take, but if it's a close win, a regular win, something strange happens and they prevail, no, that's not going to get me riled up and saying, okay, the Packers can get it done. But if they go out and have a great win, like Aaron Rodgers turns back the clock and is vintage Aaron Rodgers. All of a sudden, he's on the same page with a couple of the young receivers.
Yeah.
The run game is strong. I'm saying a lot. The defense, all that. The defense plays well. Because look, we see bad teams beat better teams every week. I hate to bring it up. I'm sorry. I don't hate to bring it up. You notice how he jumped in before I could really hit home with it. But yeah, the Colts beat the Chiefs a few weeks ago. So I won't get too excited. But if they blow them out and look great, then yeah, because they are talented.
I won't. I don't think
do
they're
they
that
not
talented.
have any talent?
I don't think that much. I honestly
So
don't think that much.
Rodgers is done.
Yeah, and the team's done.
Okay.
So listen, if the Packers win this game, to me the story on Monday will be how big of a step back the Cowboys just took.
You think?
For me, I'm just telling you
At
for
Lambeau?
me.
Okay.
Guys, we are now deep enough into a season where our preseason preconceptions about a team should apply very little to what we think about them, and it should be evidence. So I've got 4 teams that are very similar record-wise and very similar on point differential-wise as far as points scored, points allowed. Can we show it? I hope we have it. I think we have it.
There you go.
All of these teams have 3 wins. That's not on there, but it could be.
Yeah.
They're 3-6, 3-6, 3-6, and Panthers 3-7 because they played an extra game. Why are we supposed to believe in the Packers differently? They're all 3-win teams that are outscored, over the course of the first 9 weeks of the season by about the same amount of points. And if the answer is because Aaron Rodgers is there, but Aaron Rodgers has not looked like Aaron Rodgers for a single game this year. Aaron Rodgers has not looked like a great quarterback since December of last year. He didn't do it in the playoffs. In fact, he was objectively awful in that game. And he's been terrible this year. I can show you one more thing. Guys in the league this year with at least 7 picks. Here's the list. Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen. And then it's Goff, McCorkle,
That's all he cares about.
Mariota.
He could have stopped it at that.
No, stop. So Allen has a ton of upside and turned the ball over too much. Everyone else on this list stinks. And then there's Rodgers, who is not giving you the upside that Allen has given you this year. Like, at some point, you are what your record says you are, and your numbers are. And the interceptions thing, last point here, Wilds. It has been a decade, more than a decade, since Rodgers had more than 8 interceptions in a year. The last 5 years in a row, he's finished the year with less than 7. He's at 7 already.
I know.
So the Packers cannot convince me this week they're for real. There's nothing they could do this week.
I want to ask you this. Because I hear you. If the Packers win, everybody will be talking about Dallas. Several of Dallas's best wins will have come with Cooper Rush, right? I'm just
bringing this story back from the dead.
I like it.
Right, because hold on, the wins, they lost to a mediocre Tampa Bay team with Dak, right? They beat Detroit and Chicago, to a bad team and a mediocre team with Dak. Their best wins came with, I'm not saying, I'm not trying to start this controversy. I'm just wondering, I do wonder if people will begin talking about that.
Well, I
love that. That's just masterful. That's just masterful. You're just. It's magnificent. I wonder if people are going to be talking about. I could see people on TV talking about
what he does. If I'm not on TV,
the Cooper Rush Dak thing from the very beginning. He's talked like he is just a guy at a barber shop, and he's like, I think that's going to be a story. Some of those folks on TV some of those big cable television shows might start talking about it. We never would.
No, we deliver cogent analysis.
But I could see it.
We don't traffic in outrageous storylines.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.